by faith. Paul said, I am crucified together with Christ. Nevertheless I live, yet not I, but Christ that liveth in me. Are you understanding it? So the life we live in God is a life of faith and nothing else. Paul said that this faith becomes effective. This faith can produce results. This faith can do exploits. This faith can record unprecedented occurrences. Why? How does it do it? He said, by acknowledging every good thing that is in you. That's where potential comes in. What is your potential, therefore? Potential is that which you are capable of becoming, yet you have not become. Your potential is that you that God sees in the future. Your potential is God's ability in you that is still lying dormant. Hello, church. So if God has invested so much in you when you got born again, if he has put a spirit in you, it therefore means that there's nothing on earth you cannot accomplish if you set your heart on it. If somebody gets what I'm saying? There's no height unattainable for a child of God. You know, God demonstrated it in the book of Genesis chapter 11. The Bible says, and the people began to build a tower. What was their motive? They said, we will build a tower that will reach up to heaven, so that at the end of the day we will make a name for ourselves. So their intention, as carnal and as selfish as it was a threat to God. So these guys, because their heart was set on it, they were able to tap into their inner ability. They said, look, we are going to build this tower until it reaches the throne of God. And they set their hearts on it. They were doing it. It got to a point, God became concerned. If I allow these guys, he said, nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. Let's go there. Genesis 11. Genesis chapter 11. Genesis 11 verse 1. And the whole earth was of one language. Genesis 11 verse 1. And of one speech. Verse 2. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. Okay. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime they had for mortar. Verse 4. And they said, go to, let us build a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make a name. Hello. Let us make a name. So the dream they were pursuing was to make a name for themselves. It was not in line with God's agenda. They wanted to do that which had never been done before. They wanted to dare the impossible. He said, let us make name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. Verse 5. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. God had to come down to see. And the Lord said, behold, this people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do. And now, look at what God himself, look at what he said. Nothing will be restrained from them which they have what? Imagined to do. Nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. So the first point I want to establish is this. Imagination is the womb where potentials are conceived. Did you get what I said? Imagination is the womb where potentials are conceived. What do I mean? If you want to discover the potentials that God has put in you, the Bible says we must acknowledge every good thing in us. So until you acknowledge the good thing that God has put in you, you cannot amount to anything significant. Until you wake up To say, this is who I am. This is who God has made me to be. Then you begin to analyze the good things about your life. The devil will lie to you that you are good for nothing. But the day you come to that realization, this is me, this is who God made me to be, and you begin to conceive, you begin to imagine things. What is imagination? Simply, imagination is image in actions. Hello, church. Image in action. You sit down right there. Your mind goes round into 30 years from now. You begin to see the great empire you are intending to build. You see yourself being a captain of industries. You see yourself taking flight all over the world, addressing nations and congresses. Are you understanding me? If you can picture that forms the basis for your potentials. How do I know my potentials? Number one, find out the quality of thoughts that you conceive. The quality of your thoughts reveals the weight of your potentials. If negative thoughts of defeat, thoughts of impossibility is always flooding your mind, you cannot harness your potentials. So how do I know the good things that God has put in me? God communicates his thoughts to us through thoughts. He said, delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Two ways. When my heart is set on God, God begins to transfer his own desire into me. So I begin to think like God. I begin to dream the dreams of God. I begin to desire the things that God desires. Somebody get what I'm saying? If I can desire what God desires, it means I'm engaging my imagination to bring the impossibilities into possibilities. When my heart is open enough and God can communicate his thoughts to me. I don't know if you've ever sat down someday and suddenly from nowhere a thought came to your heart for good. Have you ever been there? Find out. Each time an unusual thought comes to your heart, it means that God is saying, this is what I am thinking concerning you for now. This is my intention for you at this moment. This is the direction I want you to go. So if you can balance the quality of thoughts that enters into your spirit, it reveals the weight of potential that God has placed in you. Are you following me at all? I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. Now let me digress a little. Years ago, before the digital camera came out, they used to put film in the photo camera. How many of you ever met it? They will put a negative film in a camera. So as you are snapping, every image that is being shot, the lens transfers that image to the film inside the camera. At the end of the day, they roll that film. They take it to the lab. They put some light into it. At the end of the day, that thing that was stored in the negative film comes out as a copy of your photograph. How many of you ever saw it? Not these days you are having digital camera. That as long as that image was in that film, it was in its potential form. But the moment that image goes through the process, it comes out as a tangible image. The same thing, when God transfers his thought to your thought, it's simply bringing pictures into your spirit. Are you get what I'm saying? So through the act of imagination, God paints pictures of his will and purpose concerning you inside your spirit. That's why he said in Ephesians 3:20, unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above